Hello, my name is Chris and I am an IVF survivor. So I call it that because I think IVF is one of the hardest things I have ever gone through. I'm about to start my 4th cycle of IVF, and let's just say that I know a lot more now than I did when I first started off with my first cycle. I remember starting off with my first cycle feeling just completely kind of clueless, and I just kind of jumped right into it, and I didn't realize how much there was that really I should have researched, and I should have known that probably would have helped, and maybe I would have only had to have done 1 or 2 cycles instead of now being on number 4 if I had known what I know now. So what I want to do is kind of give back to you ladies out there that are going through this right now, and hope that maybe I can give you some information that can help make your IVF journey a little bit shorter. So I want to talk first a little bit off right now about some of the nutritional supplements that I went ahead and started taking. My first 2 IVF cycles, I only produced 1 embryo that ended up making it to day 5. And then with my my last 3rd cycle, I actually was able to produce 2 embryos that made it to day 5 and are actually now, we got tested and are frozen. We're going to do the same thing with our next 4th cycle. We're going to do another cycle where we just freeze. Because one thing we have discovered is I don't seem to accept embryos fresh very well. My doctor explained it to me that during a fresh cycle, when they've just harvested your eggs, and when they end up then putting them back in on day 3 or day 5, when they're fresh, your body really is not quite as accepting at that time. And so by actually freezing them, even though it is, you have the risk of freezing and thawing and the stress on them, but supposedly now that's not nearly as serious as it used to be, and the freezing process isn't nearly as dangerous. And we also wanted to get the embryos tested. So it's kind of a double thing for us. We get our embryos tested. Like I found out that the last 2 we got from our last cycle, one's a boy, one's a girl that we have frozen. So it lets you know also neat things like that. And so I'm going to do some banking right now. So that way, even if I get maybe 1 baby, I don't feel like, I have to be in such a rush to go ahead and have more, because mine will be frozen. And actually my doctor told me that there's no, your embryos do not get like freezer burn. Like at first I thought, I was like, oh, there must be a time limit, and once if you wait too long, then your embryos aren't going to be any good, because they're frostbite like your frozen foods get. So, but it's nothing like that. They actually will be good forever once you have frozen them. So that's a nice benefit as well. So, let me go back to some of the supplements, and I will warn you, there's a lot, but I do feel like it has improved. And when I look over my medical records, my doctor, my embryo quality has definitely gone up. Of course, that could also be from different medications that they're giving me. They have changed my protocol some. I'll get into that but in a later video, but today I just wanted to go over some of the supplements I take. So the first thing I take is I just go ahead and I take a good prenatal. Your doctor's going to want you taking that anyhow. Make sure that you're getting all the good things that you need. I like to stick with one that is raw. I use vitamin code raw prenatal, and these are also a lot more gentle on your stomach. But your doctor's going to want you taking something like that anyhow. Another thing too about supplements, you want to be taking them for at least 3 months before your cycle. Preferably, if you don't, that's okay, but the sooner you start taking them, the better. Another one that I take is I try to take a lot of antioxidants, and so one of those is pine bark extract. I normally take this about like twice a day, This is 100 milligrams. Antioxidants have all kinds of good benefits, but they really help with improving egg quality as well. Alpha-lipoic acid, sorry if I butcher any of these names and say them wrong, and hopefully don't break the bottles. But another one I take too is CoQ10, which CoQ10 is actually something that there have been studies proving that it is beneficial. Some of the things I take, you know, there's not a lot of studies, like when I say studies, like medical journal tests that have been done to prove it. But you know what, a lot of it, it's not going to hurt you to take it. And if there's a lot of women that say that it helped them, so I say, why not? It's not going to hurt. Might as well take it. But CoQ10 is one of those things that it has been proven that it helps, and a lot of doctors will tell you to take CoQ10 as well. But I've kind of gotten a little crazy. These are 100 milligrams, and I will take like, you know, probably like 400 milligrams a day sometimes, just because I'm like, well, I really want it to work. So another good thing to take is vitamin D3. If you are not taking a vitamin D supplement, just Google vitamin D deficiencies and you'll see that it affects you in all kinds of ways, not just fertility. So that is really a good thing for you to be taking either way. Just for even stress, all kinds of things it really helps out with. Another good one, of course, is fish oil. This helps with, it's natural anti-inflammatory, natural anti-aging, but it's just all around good thing to take anyhow, but again, just for improving egg quality. And then another one that I started taking was the wheatgrass. I don't do the fresh, I just get the powder form. And convenience is a big thing. I mean, when you're having all these doctor's appointments and running around, I mean, the last thing you want to do is have to worry about something that's not convenient. And if it's not convenient, a lot of times you're also not going to do it. So I stick with the powder just because it's more convenient. If you can find a more convenient way that you can also afford by doing the fresh, I'm sure the fresh would be way better too. Another one is L-lysine, and I get that in bulk, just in powder form, and just stir it in water and drink it. Another one that I get in bulk like that is myoisotopes. Myoisotopes, there's been some recent studies that say that it helps, especially if you do have too much, your body produces too much testosterone, which mine was a little bit high. You can ask your doctor to get it tested. Sometimes your doctor will argue that you don't need to be getting stuff tested. I had to actually kind of argue with my doctor on getting mine tested. He didn't think it was a necessary thing to test, but once I started taking the myoisotopes with that next cycle, my eggs were better. So, I mean, I think it did actually help. Maybe my testosterone was too high, and that can really then affect, hormone levels being out of whack can affect your egg quality as well. So any way that you can get them more balanced and functioning, I notice it like really help clear my skin up a lot more, stuff like that. And when I don't take it, I notice my skin breaks out more. So, anything like that, if you're seeing plus sides of it making you feel healthier or whatever, I say that's a good sign that maybe it's working. That's just me. But, so another thing I take is baby aspirin. I started taking that during, when I'm stemming, but I also just started taking it even when I'm not. I know aspirin's supposed to help with blood flow. I read somewhere that it can help give you more blood flow. My doctor's talked before that, egg quality might not be as good because of blood flow. So, I just started taking it every day to see if it helps with that. And so I figure it's not going to hurt. So I just take it. Another thing I take also is sea kelp. I do an organic one of that. Sea kelp is good for you in all kinds of other ways. But I find it also helps a lot with my hair, nail, and skin. And it's also good for your thyroid. My dad has a thyroid problem. I take after his side of the family. It helps support that, and thyroid is also linked a lot with fertility issues. So, you know, anything that's gonna help keep that in check is also gonna help thyroid. So another thing I take, I call this my natural Xanax, which is, it's by the brand Now, and it's called True Calm. I take that, and I take it actually with a little extra GABA, spelled G-A-B-A, and I buy that in bulk as well. But it helps to relax you, and with all of the crazy fertility drugs you're going to be on, you're going to be feeling kind of crazy. So a lot of times that just kind of helps soothe things out and help with the nerves a lot. Another thing I do take, and I take both these on an empty stomach in the morning. This is Super Bio Phyto Plus Probiotics by Flora, Udo's Choice. They have a couple different kinds of these. They have actually one that's actually a yeast fighters one that is really good to take too if you notice you're getting any yeast problems, and the hormones will sometimes do that to you, especially, you know, during some parts of the cycle. They actually have you putting pills in vaginally, and I found that can make down there feel very uncomfortable, and I asked my doctor if it was okay, and I'll put one of the yeast fighting probiotics in there vaginally as well, and it helps to soothe any kind of uncomfortableness that might be happening down there. So I know that's a little probably too much information, but if you're going through it, it really does work, and it helps, and it's a more natural way of taking care of any kind of yeast problems without having to maybe get on antibiotics or something like that to get rid of a yeast infection, which antibiotics can cause another yeast infection. So we all go through that cycle before. But I take also the probiotic on an empty stomach in the morning, as well with some royal jelly. And I'll take like 2 of those. And I've used a couple different brands. This is the Now brand as well. But again, some people say that royal jelly does jack squat. I don't know. I started taking it, I guess, with my last cycle, and again, mine was better, so I'm going to do it again for this cycle. So it's not broke, don't fix it. So I figure since this last cycle was my best, I kind of want to repeat a lot of the things I did, and a lot of them was adding on some of these supplements. So another thing I did was I just stuck with trying to eat really natural, kind of like a paleo kind of style diet. No added sugars, you know, try not to have really close to, I did mostly just like meat and vegetables. I'm type blood O, so I kind of do a lot of the eating for your blood type sort of thing too. So depending maybe on what your blood type is and what your body does better with, I do better with meat and vegetables and only, you know, fruits for natural sugars. It helped keep me from putting on as much weight, because I found with a lot of these hormones, I've put on quite a bit of weight. So it helps that from happening too. So keep me from blowing up too much. So, and it also is, you know, there's a lot of evidence too for diet supporting producing good, healthy embryo. So we all want that too. So. But I'm going to continue to try to keep uploading videos, and you guys can follow me through my 4th cycle of IVF, and hopefully I get some good embryos, and then after this next cycle we're going to start doing some transfers. So I'll try and keep loading through them, and you can see, and we can figure out if really doing frozen cycles really works way better. You know, I hope it does, and I hope you guys can learn something from this, and it saves you from having to do so many cycles like we've had to do. So, but thank you for watching, and this is my first YouTube video that I've ever done, so forgive me if it's not that great or whatever, but I hope I get better. So, thank you. Bye.